Yo guys, Theo here on Common Sense. Raw and chill video out on the balcony here today. Do you ever experience this? That, I was in the flow, I was so ready to talk to you guys in a good mood. I know exactly what I want to talk about. I get out on the balcony and it's so quiet here, and I just become very aware that people can hear me because I hear them very well, and I get all self conscious. Suddenly I'm all taken out of flow. So right now I feel like it's a bit robotic, like I'm trying to tell you something. It's the difference between when you're the director and the actor in your life. Like the actor just acts, just does, right? But the director is like, you have to do it like this. Oh, it looks like this. If you do it like this, you have to do it like this. This comes next. All choppy. So this kind of meta and interesting. It's like literally what's going on as I go into this video, but also just talking like that takes me into the flow, because now I have to make up things as I go. But so yeah, if I'm a little choppy here at the start, it's because I was taken out of my flow. So I want to tell you guys some story time. But before I do, I want to pose a question. Speaking of story time, I know some of you guys really like the natural hypertrophy's story time kinds of streams, and he hasn't been posting or streaming much lately, and I don't think you should blame him for that. He clearly has other priorities he has to do in his life. But some of you guys, since I have done streams in the past, some of you guys have asked me about it, and now I'm not doing this as a stream because I'm quite tired. It's getting late on the side. It doesn't look like it's late because it's Sweden, but it's like 7. I don't want to be stuck with you guys. I can't leave if I'm there and you're all going on. But I could do more of that sort of stream because I've been thinking. It's funny that I bring up natural hypertrophy too, because that expression parasocial, like, I definitely don't want people to be parasocial with me, just watch me and get inspired and then never do shit with her, that I'm just your internet buddy. That's all I am. Definitely don't want that. But there's an aspect to this that it doesn't have to be parasocial. It can just be social, right? Like, apart from just good advice, good info, I want to offer a space for like-minded people here, right? I want you to be like home, and that I'm not just a coach, like a boss telling you what you should do in your life. I'm also just a bro, right? Sharing some stories. So, it would be fun to bring in some content, like just story time, right? It's not necessarily about fitness or self-development. It's just stories I've been through, and then whatever comes up, if it's on a stream, in a chat, and that, right? I'll say before I go on to tell the story I want to tell now, if you like that kind of thing with streams, first of all, express it in the comments. But also, please do show support with a super chat on the stream. I don't want to be an e-beggar. It's not going to be my main source of income. But it's just a thing, even though I like streams, it always ends up that it comes to a point that I can't really justify going on with it just because I like it, right? Like, it takes a lot of time, and I can enjoy streaming even to a smaller audience. And I will probably always do a spontaneous stream here and there, right? But I'm saying, to justify doing it regularly, if you know that, I can expect a few donations here, it's just so much easier to prioritize it, right? So, yesterday, guys, story time, okay? I went to a rave party, and that's the first time in 8 years. And it's not something I used to do a lot, right? Like, when I was a party kind of person, like the old self you always hear me talk about, my main thing would be drinking lots of alcohol and weed. Those would be the main things. And then just the regular, overall poor lifestyle, like sleeping poorly, eating poorly, lots of junk food, right? When you party, you also smoke cigarettes, all this kind of crap, like more normie stuff in that sense, right? But I was exposed to other shit as well. It was just those were my regular things. But so back in the day, I went to rave parties, from when I was 19, 20 through 25. I went to one per year, pretty much. Then you do some other things there, right? And point is, back then, I was that hedonist, loser, nihilist kind of guy, right? So even though those things weren't things I indulged in a lot, right? When it's on the table, I would just go cry. It was always a dirty experience, right? And so I've been thinking now, since I've done, I barely drink at all, right? And, well, this is something that should be mentioned, guys. It's it's difficult to talk about, both because of some legal situations, around these substances, but it's hard to give a nuanced view on it because most people don't really need to hear a nuanced view, don't need justifications to do anything. But here we are non-dualists. We don't see anything as either good or bad, black or white. What I'll say about substances, though, is that you should be closer to the 100% edge of, like, straight edge, not doing anything, than, for instance, the person that drinks every week, like talking about that there is a balance, that there are things you could do, but it's like with training, right? Volume, intensity, frequency. And it's just that what most people with many things would think is like, okay, average or something, is still too unbalanced in one direction. But so clearly, in the past, I'm telling you about things I did. Clearly now, because I'm in Sweden, I would only ever enjoy the legal drugs of caffeine, nicotine, and moderate amounts of alcohol, right? I would never consider doing something like MDMA, not even once per year, definitely not. But so, since I changed my lifestyle a lot, I've been thinking, because I realize these things, that like, it's not that I barely drink, but it's not like I have to be like, I'll never touch alcohol ever again. It could be a momentary thing like that. And just like, I've been thinking, like, man, I could go to a rave and do it so much better than I used to, right? Like, not go completely crazy, drinking, popping whatever I'm offered, right? But actually have a plan and be well prepared, what you eat and drink before and during and after, all this stuff, right? So I've been thinking about doing something like that. By the way, I actually went to a party like that in early February with a friend, but that was completely sober, except caffeine, right? But so, I was recommended one that happened at Midsummer. And so, me and a friend had discussed going to this rave. And so I thought, up until like 2 days before, that we were going, but then he got sick. And I really started thinking, like, it feels kind of intense to do something like that by myself. It's not that I wouldn't, that's the thing, guys, especially in these times, in general, I think. But, like, if you want to, the point is, you have to be able to do things by yourself, even that might feel weird to do by yourself. And I wasn't even initially going to, right? But I've been thinking about that too. Like, if I don't find someone to go with, I'll just go, But when I had put my mind to it, it felt a little bit intense. It's kind of far away, other side of the city or even outside the city, right? Going by myself, this kind of thing. But I made myself go in the end, right? And now I want to talk about, like, what that was like. It's so interesting to enter this kind of situation being so completely different, right? And the way I looked at the collective of people that was there, it's like I started writing a poem. I didn't have time to finish it on the subway on my way home early in the morning, like 7 in the morning, right? This morning, actually. That's crazy to think. It's Sunday today. People at rave parties never grow up. Give them escapism, and they'll drink from that cup or whatever. I don't remember where it's now. But that's the point, though, that people there, even though I'm talking about now, because, guys, my message here is clearly, like, stay away from doing stupid hedonist shit as much as possible. But it's not that you can't enjoy yourself at all. You pick and choose. It's like with alcohol, right? There are some people I would never judge for the way they drink alcohol, but I don't want to do it as much. But they have a certain balance of that, right? Like, point is, you can indulge in things, but these people at these places, that's all they do, right? Escaping reality. Like, so many people there, you see that they run into each other and know each other from different parties before, right? And it was just so interesting. Like, I arrived there. First, I was really happy that I went, honestly, because it was intimidating, but it was so easy to just, like, fit into the crowd, just do your own thing for a while, and then I start socializing, connecting with people, right? And they're just so, it's cute, because some are like a bit spiritual, like probably they've had some experiences through some substances, right? And the thing with a thing like that is that can help. It's like a tool, but just because you experience, if you don't have certain wisdom to begin with and go into things like with a certain intention, you might experience things like a detachment from your ego and stuff, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you understand. And you just, okay, you got a glimpse of something, right? And now, oh, spiritual. And so point being that there are definitely like really spiritually narcissistic people, or they are really full of themselves. But this, what I saw with a group like that I spent some time with, was that they were kind of, it was kind of cute, kind of spiritually naive, but also so fucking immature and childish. Like this one girl, she was talking about, I jumped into this, like I was overhearing what they're talking about, that she wants to open this health store, but where you also get help with like spiritual guidance and stuff. And she's talking about, it's like this is this plan that she has that's going to happen. And I'm not saying that's great if she does that, but it's like, this is not a plan, this is an idea. It's like a fantasy you have, like a childish dream, not an impossible to reach dream, but you know, let me know how that goes. But so yeah, I just started picking up on whatever she had been through, went in on this track. So I just started telling them I was wearing this, right? Like point being, you know, I was the techno Viking. So I tell them I'm a holistic fitness coach, and I just started going off about all my shit that, you know, a lot of people would think it's like really vulnerable stuff to share, but for me it's like business as usual, right? And I'm feeling among these spiritual children, let's say, I was going to say midgets, that sounds more insulting, but I feel even more than usual like this wise and vascular wizard just dropping shit, and they start asking me about so many things, right? So I try to plant as many seeds as possible, but you know, there's something so cute about people that have found something that's not really like mainstream, this kind of spiritualism, right? But still so like not a deep perspective at all. Like it's so very funny. But so one interesting part that happened here is that at some point I was talking. I actually ran into some fitness woman, Swedish. I say woman because she was like older than me. But yeah, and suddenly a girl pops up in my face, and it's like it's like I should be like all excited to see her. And I'm like, who is this? Like I've been thinking before, because when I used to go to these things, like you would typically run into someone, you know, like from school or something, right? So I'm thinking like, who from school is this? Then when she took off, she had sunglasses, right? I'm like, it's this girl I was talking to a year ago. Like, you know, about a year ago, a brief moment, these moments when I like, okay, I try on the apps, dating apps, and I get sick of it, but maybe I connected with her, I like took her number or something, right? I just remember I tried to meet her, like she was younger, way younger than me, like 10 years younger than me. But I talked about in this video, right? I want a girlfriend, but it's not easy. Like how I just feel resistance to all of that. That it's so strange to like pursue girls without any sort of feeling like, oh, I at least am curious to get to know this person, or I like something draws me to them a little bit at least, you know. But I had some kind of good energy from her, you know. She seemed like chill. I felt like I could be open and it was like received well. So I would be like, well, this is a girl I could meet at least, right? But she lives in a different city, like close to Stockholm, but it's still it's like a couple of hours travel. So if I'm to meet her, we would have had to make plans properly, right? It can't be spontaneous. And I just pick up on that clearly she's into me, but she cannot commit and make plans like this. So, you know, I tried to meet her a few times and it's like, you know, didn't happen. But I guess we've been following each other on Instagram and maybe just liked the picture here, there or something. But this was the girl, right? And yeah, it was just... at first, because I was in a certain mood, right? Like I told you, it was so nice to get to do this thing and be just way more balanced, you know, get to enjoy certain things, you know, nicotine and stuff, but moderate, like måttfull, you say in Swedish. So, you know, like you don't have to become a fucking like, zombie doing shit, right? But the point is, I was in a mood, so when, you know, she is nice looking, right? I like her energy. So, you know, I felt like cuddling a little bit, and I would have probably like at least kissed this girl, but not more, right? For you to all know, going on, it's close to 6 years. celibacy now, and so yeah, I haven't. There's just one girl I have even. Celibacy as in no actual intercourse, right? The only girl I've done anything physical with. It's been the one girl I've been involved seriously with, right? But so even for me to kiss someone would be a big step, and I haven't done much of it. But I figured in a situation like this, I could, because the way you become at those things, you just make out, cut a little bit, and be like goodbye. Because yeah, point being is that I would not have broken the celibacy either way. But yeah, so I probably would have been up for that. But she was all focused on this glitter by her eye that was apparently wrong. Spent like 2 hours trying to correct this. People in altered states, they get like zoned in or weird stuff. But then later, it's like just from seeing her, like she was all nice. I have nothing bad to say about this girl in this sort of way, but she was just a mess. Like she's young, so she's still gonna look quite nice, which is so immature. Like so many things she said spoke to thinking about like what I think about her or what something looked like, and yeah, that's right. She knew every other fucking guy in this place from dating apps, and I also get the impression that it's not like she's like very promiscuous. She just likes attention. It's like talking to all these guys, Like even the way like she talked to me, and she's not meeting me, right? Yeah, but like she would know every other fucking guy, and it was just all about, well, partying, getting fucked up, pretty much. Just, similar to the way I used to be, right? Like I could see a lot, even though I would say I was, probably a smarter person, to be frank, always. That immaturity, though, going about life in that way, yeah, I recognize it, and I just, I just lost all attraction at that point. Like, I knew, it's so interesting because back in the day, it would have both been the case that sometimes I would have felt, I would have been a coward, not daring to do a move on a girl, and you would take that with you into the hangover. Like, I should have gone for it, like, right? And now, because also I would have forced something like that, even though I love, like, because I'm supposed to, right? Hooking up with girls, you're supposed to. This girl likes me, I'm supposed to make out with her, but I just felt like, honestly, not disgusted by her, but disgusted at the thought of doing that, and so I just didn't, right? And so it's kind of interesting to instead feel like, oh, that's nice that I would have to feel like dirty over doing something like that with someone where it doesn't feel right? But it's interesting because it's not like I'm not looks oriented at all, right? It's just that it's just like, I always say the external is a manifestation of the internal. Like even the looks tell something about something that is not the looks. It's an expression of something. But still, it's like really, when you know what you're looking for and that yourself you're authentic, you're looking for true intimacy and connection, like that's what you actually get attracted to when you have that with a person in the end. And so in the end with this girl, I could have like a bit of fun. I think like, oh, she's a nice, cozy girl, but I just couldn't feel any sort of like that kind of thing, No, but so this is the, I'm just, now I got into the flow, right? But the main observation, like, was what I was writing about on the subway on the way home there. Like, so many people there. It's like, they're just, like I said, really doing a thing like that every once in a while. Like, but really every once in a while. 8 years since last time for me. But yeah, I don't think that's an issue. But when you can tell that it's a lifestyle for someone, that kind of person is just like, he's a grown-up fucking child, Like, you're just looking to escape all the time. And it was a clear reminder, like when I was sitting speaking like this by the fire, everyone was silent, listening to me. And it's not like I'm all intense, right? I'm like this, right? I'm just oozing this like an actual man, right? Because everyone there is a little boy and girl. Yeah, it's just a reminder of how far you've come and like how far behind certain people are, Like when I say this, it's not out of place of judgment or looking down at all. In fact, I think it's a very sweet, nice energy in a place like that. But childlike in that sense. Let me collect my thoughts a little bit. But yeah, it's like, in a sense, I think people around there are like nicer to deal with than just a normie, but in a way they're like more, it's like becomes more apparent what we do as people, the way we escape, right? We just do it on different levels. Um, no, but so it was fun to just let loose a little bit. I've been thinking about like I've done nothing like that for so long, right? And I feel quite good today because I did it quite responsibly. And so it was both that part, but that the second part is like I didn't expect to leave with these like impressions, like, okay, yeah, I felt like a dad being there, seeing all these people fucking up, fucking being fucked up, fucking up themselves. Yeah. Is that it for this one? Yeah, I think so. But yeah, guys, this kind of thing, I'm thinking that I can do stream. Like, I have lots of stories from my life. This was a recent one where I also bring in some backstory and comparing it, right? But I have lots of fun, crazy, interesting stories. And I think it could be cool streams to like start them off with me not even looking at the chat after saying hi a little bit, just to tell one story I decided for that stream, and then start looking at the chat, having some kind of back and forth. If there are any sort of topics you're interested in, I definitely have a lot of like party stories, crazy stories, like that, messing up, blackouts, being robbed, dumb, hookups. Yeah, I mean, I have lots of stories. The poker lifestyle, that was something. Choir, traveling, singing in a world-class choir. That's an interesting thing. I think about it sometimes. I don't know. How do I say this now? It becomes meta. Have inside info on a thing like that, I guess. No, but I had a good time, guys. It was fun. But really, like, I cannot believe, like, it's insane to me, even probably being one of them, yeah, the more moderate people there, right? It's like, I felt immediately there, like, I'm not because I didn't have a good time, but it's like, I cannot do this in, like, at least many months, but probably not in a year, right? I see some people, I actually saw someone right at the end before I went there. Well, I happened to know, right? And I happened to know this person was at a rave the day before. Like back to back. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. The way people destroy them. That's a great thing. I'll end on this note, guys. It's a beautiful thing. Well, this is also a point I see I could start elaborating so long. But addictions or pleasure seeking, it's both a degree of escaping or numbing some kind of pain. Like when you are in pain, and especially when you don't know why, you're unconscious to it, you're just reaching for some kind of pain relief. You might not even know that that's what you're doing if you're excessively indulging in something. Then it can just be that if something is available and it's pleasurable, it's tempting to do it. But so when the pain isn't great enough, or when you think the price is too high that you pay for doing something, now it's easier to do it differently. Because now it's not like I have to try to contain myself. But it's like with alcohol, like I'm so protective. I love so much the way I feel because it's about the state you're in that I always talk about, right? The state I keep myself in by just living a proper lifestyle and not doing all the crap that people do for pleasure. It actually brings me, stable baseline of, low intensity pleasure, if you will. And it's like, a big spike in pleasure is just not worth sacrificing like the quality for, because especially when you have a clean baseline, you notice so much. Like, it's not just a day. If you drink alcohol, even if it's not a huge amount, and you could go look up the science too, it definitely affects you many days to come. You might not consciously notice it, but you function worse. So yeah, be really, that's what my thing is. Like, it's not that you shouldn't ever enjoy pleasure and fun for the sake of it, but be really, really, pick your moments carefully so it's actually worth it. Yeah. Yeah. And also pick your poisons, like we all have. Like I, for instance, am choosing to keep some caffeine and nicotine for me. It's something I like that I don't think I pay high enough of a price of. I have successfully managed to reduce my consumption to 25% of the former, so a lot reduced 75% to only 1/4 of what I used to consume. Some people wouldn't think it's worth it, right? It's always about balance, guys. Because being completely on the one side, it just cannot be healthy either, right? But you want to be there most of the time. And that's why the people that say, you gotta live, you gotta treat yourself. They treat themselves way too much. Okay, guys. Clearly I could go on now when I found my flow, but we'll end it there. So let me know if you'd like storytime streams, these kinds of stories and free flowing talk about maybe less serious topics. There's always some things to, I got some insights from even from this fun party, right? It can always be something deeper that comes up. What I mean, guys, is like I want to offer you authentic connection and brotherhood here, right? It's not all Coach Theo telling you about discipline and how to do things. Since the world is kind of fucked up and many of us don't really feel like we have a tribe, or not as big of a tribe as we would, but we can find each other like this. Yeah, it just seems like a cool thing. So like, comment, all that jazz, guys. I'll see you later. Peace.